Mommy. I am Louisa and I'm here with.
I, I am Sue. Welcome to our YouTube channel or whatever
And
platform you're listening to
no,
us from.
exactly. Because obviously, if you've been a follower of Becoming a Mommy, you must know that at first it was just a blog and I was the one running it. But really, we decided to join hands and actually come up with a partnership. So if you're wondering what's going on, this is still Becoming a Mommy. We have started a whole new project and we're just hoping it grows. So if you're listening to us using YouTube, thank you for tuning in and watching our video. If you're listening to a podcast, thank you so much for also listening. So, are you excited?
I am super excited. I'm so glad that we decided to do this thing and take Becoming a Mommy continent-wide, global, taking it to greater heights together. I love spreading information about motherhood, about being a mother for both mothers to be and people who are just considering mothering, like for me, it was quite an eye-opening journey. A lot of why did I not know about this moment? So
Yep.
this phase is a lot of trying to counter that so that when you get into your journey, when you get to understand what being a mother really is, you do so while you are informed, you know what to expect. We all have different journeys and we all experience everything differently, but a little bit of insight of how another person might have gone through something helps. So that's why we are here and that's why we are spreading Becoming a Mommy onto a lot more new platforms so that the information gets to everyone and no mother is left behind.
And also, this is just great time for if you're a mom. This is just a great time, sit back and relax and just listen to two moms ramble about motherhood. And because we're always craving for that time, for that little space of time, just to be on our own and do our own thing, so we don't have to watch cartoons or watch Coco Melon all the time and sing those jingles that are so irritating but awesome at the same time. So this is just that time
Yes.
where this is us taking time away from our children and just being like, let's talk about that one thing we love so much but also do not love just as much. Like, we love our kids but we also need our own me time. So this is what Becoming a Mommy is right now. For example, right now my child is with my maid. They're walking around outside, so I'm just like, yeah, you guys do you while I do me. I don't know what your child is doing currently, but that's what mine is doing. And I'm like, Mommy needs some time. I just need to talk to a friend while we work.
Yes. Well, my child is having her me time with her daddy. They need to bond and spend time. So I'm taking time for me, time for this space. And yes, for this time that we're recording, they're bonding. They must bond because I remember reading somewhere on Twitter and this other mommy was saying, Coco Melon is so God sent, like if it wasn't for Coco Melon, I don't know what I would be doing. And I was like, yes. My child also had a Coco Melon phase. She's past that. She's now watching Blippi on YouTube and she's obsessed. So I don't know how long this Blippi phase will last.
Whatever channel will keep them entertained, you just say thank you, Jesus, and you move past it. You don't complain. Anyway, so for everyone that is here, be it a mom or if you're not a mom, but you're just interested to know about motherhood, these are stories that we will be sharing with you. So it will be our personal experiences. We will be having guests on our channel. Also, we can just talk about motherhood and we can talk about our children and we can talk about the life that we're having currently. If you've been following the blog or if you have not, my name is Louisa and my friend is Sue. I have a son. He's 9 months old. He's almost a year and I'm so glad that we're getting to that year mark. So just talk about your baby a little.
So I'm a mom to 2-year, 9-month-old baby. So our babies are both November babies.
No, mine is a December actually.
Oh, he's a December baby. Yeah, they're almost a month apart because she's like on the 3rd of November. But she's 2 years and 9 months and she is in a toddler phase. She runs around a lot. She is very much her own person. She doesn't like to be told what to to do already. But yeah, she's a good baby. She's always happy, tantrums here and there, which are normal. But yeah, the space will probably be a lot of me sharing my journey from my pregnancy with her, because I still only have one child. So my pregnancy, my birth experience, and everything else that has happened from then until now, and also going forward as she grows, experiences with that, and including things that I wish I could have done different, things that I want to know about, to learn about. We'll probably be bringing people in those fields as well to just come and explain different aspects of parenting. I wanted to use that specific phrase of parenting because we welcome daddies too. I know it's becoming a mommy, but we welcome daddies. If you want to come and understand why your partner or your wife is frustrated so much sometimes, we will explain it to you. We'll tell you exactly what is going on and why we're feeling the way we're feeling sometimes. And yeah, just to give you a deeper understanding of what goes on as a mother.
Yeah.
So you can have a better understanding.
Just maybe before, because I know you've pretty much explained what our project is about. Let's go back a little bit, because obviously if we have people that have been following me or people that have been following you, they're probably wondering how this has happened, how you and I have actually happened to be in the same space. Like, how has this come about? So maybe let's just start off with your own creative journey, because I know we're both creatives, we're both bloggers. And so I just wanted you to share a bit of your blogging journey, and then I'll share a bit of mine and how we came about working together.
Okay. Wow. My journey started, I'd say, just over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years is a big number. Yeah, but it's been a decade. It started in a very, I don't know, uneventful way. Let me put it that way. I used to doodle. I have memories writing on my mother's walls. I have this specific memory because she hit me for it. I wrote some song lyrics on a wall, on a white wall, red crayon, and it wouldn't come out. And she hit me for it. I think I was 7. That's my earliest memory I have of me doodling on things. And it just carried on. Like, you give me a pen and a paper and it's bound to happen. I'm gonna write something somewhere. And as I grew, I think I was doing my lowest 6. I was in Form 5, and I went to a new school, met new friends, and among those friends, one of them was like, have you ever tried writing poetry? And besides our, like, you hear the word, and we also learned poetry when I was doing my O levels, but it was Shona poetry. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and it was Shona poetry, so I never used to care about it. And yeah, so this person said this, and I was like, poetry, like, and who's gonna read what I'm writing? Who's gonna care? So I didn't take it seriously for a very long time, but she kept encouraging me. She kept saying, just try, write. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to have structure. Like, you don't have to know everything about poetry right now before you start writing. Just write what you feel. And I started writing in my notebook, and then the following year or the year after, I moved to South Africa. And being in a new environment, I didn't know anyone. I was always inside. So I started writing in my notebook even more. And then my sister saw this. This was like my diary kind of thing. It was my notebook that I held like really close. And for some reason, my sister came across it. She opened it, she read it, and she was like, you can actually do something with this, like, don't you want to start a blog? That was the first time I ever heard of blogging. And I was like, what blog? And she showed me, and she was like, you can start it like this, and this is how you make an account. And when I wrote my A levels, I enjoyed economics. So she said, okay, fine, if you don't want to write your poetry on it, write something, economics, do something with that. And so I made this whole blog, but I wasn't really interested. I was just doing it because she said I should. And I left it. I think I only wrote one blog post, and I left it. And I left it for more than a year. Then what happened was I moved, and I went to live with my other sister. And after I moved, I got a job in a stationery shop. And because of this job, I had unlimited access to the internet. So I started thinking back. So in between that time, I had found a WhatsApp group with some poets in it. I came across Afro bloggers on Twitter, and I joined, but I wasn't really active. So I got this job now, and I have access to the internet, and I just thought, like, I can do this blogging thing, like people are blogging, I can do this.
Like
so I started a blog. Yeah, it was like it was like saying you are ready now. Now is the time. All that information you've been gathering, everything has come into place now. You can start. So I started blogging. I started a blog. It was a poetry blog because that whole economics thing was not my thing. I started writing. I started meeting new people. A lot more Afro bloggers was like, it just opened up this door, and I was like, there are this much people blogging. All these people, and some of them have been blogging for years.
It becomes shocking when you join Afro bloggers. Now you're like, wait, I'm not the only one. It's like, so oh my God.
We've known about this for so long. Where have I been? Like kind of thing. And yeah, so the rest is history. Like I went from being on WordPress.com, I switched to Blogger. Oh no, my first blog was on blogger.com, and then I moved to WordPress, and then I moved from WordPress to self-hosting, and then I moved from self-hosting and I went back to WordPress.com, and I did a lot of, but I'm so happy for doing all of that. It was learning and getting a deeper understanding to how these things work. And so I've been blogging since 2015. So all these years have been like a lot of learning, experiencing, meeting new people like Louisa, who I met through Afro bloggers. And from there, I stopped blogging because in 2018, late 2018, I got married and I had to move. I was living in Durban and I moved to Joburg. And then a couple of months after that, I got pregnant, and then I just stopped blogging. I stopped blogging until my child was 9 months. She was 9 months old. And then that's when I started this new blog. And it started out as a space for me to just find my creative self again, to make sense of me and that creative aspect of me. And it's evolved to so much more. It's become a space for me to leave a legacy. They say every blog is a legacy, because when you're not here, people are still going to see it. But for me, it's an intentional legacy. It's a space that I want my child to go there and kind of see who I am as a person, to experience me in the event that she is grown and I'm no longer here. We don't wish for that, but in the event that it does happen, she can firsthand the kind of person that I am. She doesn't need to be told by so and so, because people experience people differently. So because we experience because we experience people differently, I don't want it to have versions of me. So if you talk to my husband, he will have his own experience. She will have her own experience. Louisa will have her own experience. And if they're asked who is Sue, they will all have different answers to that. But through this blog, I want her to hear me from my heart, to know who I am from there. So it's such a space for that. Primarily, that is what it is. If somebody else reads and they enjoy, or they pass by there and they're like, oh, this is good, then good, great. But other than that's like added benefits. That's on top of the primary reason of what this blog is. And like blogging has also taught me a lot of things. It's allowed me to take the leap, to show my face on video, and take the courage to learn podcasting, to do this podcast with you, to make partnerships, great ones at that, to copywriting, all these other creative things I've learned because I needed to do for my blog. So outside of this, I also freelance. I freelance for social media, copywriting, logo making, things like that. It's all like basic stuff that I'm learning to do, but it's because I needed to do it for my blog. So it's also opened this other avenue of who I am as a creative. A couple of years ago, somebody approached me and they wanted me to write a script. She's a puppeteer, and she wanted me to write a script for her so she can make a puppet play. And when she sent me the videos of how she made this animated puppet show thing from, but it's all because of blogging and this creative journey that I decided to take, which I'm happy about, oh, I've talked a lot. But yeah, basically that's what these past 10 years have been to me.
But like for 10 years, rising 10 years, you're going to have to speak a lot, because if you've achieved so much, it only makes sense for you to share it. And that's what we're doing right now. Like, we're sharing what we've succeeded on. Then obviously jumping from that, I would say, oh God, being pregnant has messed my brain up. I do not quite remember the year I started blogging. I still have that much brain.
The only reason I remember is because there are other things tied to it. So I remember I started doing this. That's when I did this kind of thing. But I'm sure, if it was just a standalone thing, I would be the same.
It wouldn't. Yeah. Okay, but like for me, I started off. It's almost a similar story to yours, because I started with poetry as well. I remember I was in college, and it was my second boyfriend, I think, at the time. Things were not going great. I knew we were going to break up, but I almost felt that he was going to break up with me. Now, the issue is I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want him to walk away with like that satisfaction, like, oh my God, I've broken up with Louisa. So I jumped the gun. I was like, I'm going to do it first. I will be the one to break up with you. So I broke up with him. But I was the one who was heartbroken, because we had a good run. Our relationship was great. But it got to a point where like we both can't survive this. Like, we're being suffocated by this, So we both knew we were coming to an end of it. I just never wanted him to have that satisfaction, like, oh, I broke up with you. I wanted to walk away with that satisfaction. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I wanted at the time.
I keep thinking that, poets in love, it was bound to happen, like.
And I'm a Pisces, so
I'm also a Pisces.
Oh my God. So like, the way my brain works when it comes to issues of romance is just weird. Okay, like, let's just end it at that. I'm a weird person. That's the best way to understand me.
Oh no.
I'm a weird person and I'm fine. I love it that way. Anyway, so I broke up with this man, and I was heartbroken by it, because he was not just obviously my boyfriend or a partner, he was a friend. And I felt like I was grieving our relationship and our friendship at the same time, because I kind of felt like we had burnt some bridges where we could not be friends at the time. Like, we were not ready for it. Yeah. And I think what hurt the most was not the relationship ending, but it was the fact that he was my confidant in a lot of things. And I was grieving for that, because I knew for a while I would have to get used to being by myself. And this was a person who was almost like he was a best friend at the time. So I had to grieve that. And the only way I could grieve all those emotions and let go was through poetry. So I started writing on my Facebook. And trust me, nowadays I get memories on Facebook and I go, why? Like, why did I write this? Like, who wrote this? Obviously, it's not me. I almost want to deny my own work, because it's cliche. It's all sorts of wrong. And I went through moments of writing erotic poetry. I published collections of erotic poetry. It was a weird moment for me. It was a weird phase, and I'm glad I moved past that. But I still own it. I don't delete it, because it's still part of me, and it reminds me of where I started off. Writing got me to a phase where I was like, wait, what if I had actually a space on the internet where I could just publish everything that I'm doing, all my creative work? So I started blogging, and my first blog was wineandroses.webplace.com. I remember that. And that blog took me to places I never thought I would have achieved with blogging. Because I remember just being invited to a restaurant, and they had an event, and they invited me to be part of the event, and I had to write a review after, and I got paid. And I was like, I get free food. You're inviting me to a restaurant, you give me free food, and now you're also paying me to write.
You paid me on top of that.
Why should I stop this? And that was the motivation to like go on. You know, after a while, I just didn't resonate with the name. And also, I had friends coming over and saying, we don't really like your name. It doesn't feel, you know, like, because I chose Wine and Roses because I love wine. Like, I'm a girl who loves wine. And at the same time, I love roses. So I was like, okay, what if I just the two things that I love the most? But then getting the feedback.
I like the name.
Yeah, it was all right at the time. But even like now, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that was a cliche name. Like, what was I thinking?
No,
but
it is cliche, but it, you know, it's not like a horrible name. Like I'm gonna die or I'm not gonna read this because you know it's not. It's an okay
yeah,
name.
yeah. Okay, now you're making me think. Okay, I could do that again. But yeah, you know, after some time and thinking about it, I was like, wait, I love my name and I want people to know that whatever I'm writing, it's coming from me. So that's when I birthed the louisamsiska.com as a self-hosted website. And another reason why I wanted self-hosting was during the time when I was just starting out, I was really obsessed with numbers. So I was really obsessed with how many views I was getting per day, how many views I was getting per month. I was obsessed with how much I was making on AdSense, if I'm getting any money from affiliate marketing, like all that, because I just wanted to create something where I could put my energy and work, all my creative work into, but at the same time, it needed to pay its own bills. I didn't want to pay for it, get my own personal money and pay. Yeah. So I was really obsessed and I was really pushing. But I feel like it got to a point where things were just not working out the way I wanted them to work. And I was getting to a point where I was kind of depressed about it because I was like, wait, it's not making me money. I'm losing out money to it. I have to pay for the hosting. I have to pay for this. I have to pay for that. And also the time I was devoting just to make it work. But I kept it moving because I really enjoy blogging. Like I really love just putting my opinions on certain topics. So be it social commentary, be it lifestyle or art or whatever. I just love putting into words anything that I'm feeling. So if I really feel good about something, I really want to write it down. And because at some point in time, it creates a memory for me. When I go back to my old work, I'm like, oh, this is how I used to think at this point of time and whatnot. So it was great at the time. And then fast forward to last year and, oh, wait. Going back, rewind. Going back to 2019. Was it 2019 or 2020? 2020, actually. No, it was last year still. But it started off in 2020 and ended up in 2021. I got nominated for the Afrobogas Awards and the social commentary, and I did not win. I was sad about it. I was not sad about the person who had won because it was T. He's my Zimbabwean husband. I like to call him my Zimbabwean husband. It was T, he won, and I thought he deserved it more than I. But there was a part of me that was still sad about losing or being a runner-up. And here's the thing, I don't like being second best to a lot of stuff. So it really got to me. Well, I was like, wait, I couldn't win this? Like, what's going on? You know? So 2019, 2020 actually, I became a runner-up, Afrobogas runner-up. And then last year, I won an award. So it was last year, but it happened this year. I won Afrobogas award. So yes, I am an award-winning blogger. For anyone who is interested to know, I am an award-winning blogger. But how now becoming a mommy came up. Last year I got pregnant, and a lot of people did not know I was pregnant. I feel
one
like
of them being me. I even remember. I remember there was this. I think it was an Afro bloggers meet, and you were presenting something on SEO, and I kept thinking the way you had the camera, you had it. Your laptop was on a lower something, and you were sitting, but you were sitting like this, and it was the camera was, and I kept thinking, this is so weird, because all the other times I've kind of seen you, you were looking directly at the camera. Like on that one day, it was so weird. And then a couple of months later, it was actually in December.
Yeah.
Or was it in January?
I have a
And
baby.
you had started,
It was in December.
and you had started becoming a mommy. Oh no. Somebody said congratulations on the baby. And I was like, what? How can we not know for a whole 9 months? But then I remembered I had a flashback to that, you know, that meet, and I was like, it totally makes sense. She was hiding it.
Oh,
I remember that.
wow. I really
I
did
even
hide
remember
my
the dress
pregnancy
you were
on
wearing,
social media.
because
And
I kept thinking this is a very nice dress.
like, why is she not showing the dress? I really want to see the pattern of the
Yeah,
dress.
because no, it was so weird the way you were sitting. You never ever, like, you know, like even in all your photos, you that kind of person who is always like directly looking, you know,
Yes, at the
forward.
camera.
But on
Yes,
that one meter,
yes.
it was so weird. And I kept thinking, why is the camera angled like that? Why is she sitting like that? Couldn't she? Because I felt very uncomfortable for you. Because I was like, this is not a comfortable way to be sitting. But then when I realized that no, you were pregnant, I was like, ah, I understand. You know, like when
I
that
hid
tummy is
my
big and you're trying
pregnancy.
to figure out how,
But
no.
yes. Yeah, so last year, 2021, I got pregnant and I hid it. I hid it on social media, I hid it on my blog. I never once
Mm.
blogged about it. I never once shared anything that alluded that I was pregnant on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. It was just a normal thing for me. And shout out to all my friends. Honestly, thank you to every single one of my friends for keeping that secret with me, because it really would have killed me if someone, went and shared it. There were a few who would put out subtle hints on Twitter, and
Yeah.
I did see, like, they're still my friends, but there were a few who were like, let's test the waters, let's see if people are going to catch up with it. But it never did happen until when I decided I was going to go forward with the blog and start sharing it. So that's when becoming a mommy was birthed. But initially, it was birthed before my child came up. So before my child was born, I had already started working on it. Everything about it was already set up. I already had blog posts to cover up from the day that I decided I was going to launch it. So I think I launched it about 2 weeks after I came back home from the hospital. And I was like, this is time. Like, I'm just going to share it to everyone that, yeah, now I'm a mom. I have a child. So that's how becoming a mommy came up. So now it's awesome to see that we are expanding to different platforms using the same name, but trying to reach a lot more moms just like us. We keep saying it's a community for African moms, but it's a community for a whole lot more, and we
Mm.
honestly hope. I think one of the things that Sue and I shared when we were coming up with this project was we really wanted to create a community, not just have us talk
Yes.
about everything about motherhood, but like create a community for every mom, wherever you are, be it you're African or anything. We wanted to create that community where you find a safe space to share what you're going through, even on days when you just do not like your kids. We want to create that space for you.
Yes.
It's okay. You don't have to like that human every single day
Yes.
of the year. There can be days when you don't like that child. It's fine.
When you don't
It's
like
all
that.
right.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
and this is a community for that. Like, you can come up and just say, hey guys, I don't like my child today. I woke up
Mm.
not liking my child, and we will understand, because it's too much. There's so much stress that goes around being a mom. And obviously I've only been a mom for 9 months, but I can tell you, it's not the easiest job on earth.
It's
So
not. And there's also like a lot of pressure to be perfect, you know, like a lot of pressure to keep smiles, to be happy all the time, to be an all-in-one. You must be the washing machine, the mop, the dishwasher, the iron steamer thing, you know, like so much pressure, teacher, everything there, you know.
yes, like
And
everything that encompasses.
and we are human. We can't. It's not possible. So on those days that you just feel like it's becoming a lot, we are here, come watch us, come listen to us, and just know that you're not alone. It's okay to not be okay. You can't be everything. Sometimes we try, and it's good to try, it's a good thing, but it's also a good thing to not want to sometimes. And also there's also this thing of, how do I put this? You have so much pressures from society to be a certain kind of mother. That's also another thing for me, like a big thing to say, okay, this is the motherhood box, fit in there. And sometimes you're just not like that. You're not wired like that. That is not the kind of mother that you are. And you mother in your own way, like, it's okay to be outside the box. It's okay to figure things out as you're going,
As you're going, yes. And obviously, just like on the same point, especially I've seen this with a lot of African moms where they would tell you, even fresh out of the hospital, they would tell you, oh, you should not have dirty laundry. You should always iron your clothes, your baby's clothes, on the same day you wash them. Or you should do this, you should do that. And you're like, I have 24 hours in a day. What time am I supposed to do everything and also get time to rest? At the end of the day, we become very depressed humans. And so, just like we've been saying, this is that community. It's a community to make sure you can just vent and everything. We are creating a community for mothers who are just like us, who just need a 2-minute break to just breathe. It's obviously not going to be 2 minutes. It's going to be 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes. But if you need that time to just sit and relax and just listen to something and be like, yeah, this is a platform we're offering. And so obviously, food. I was going to say completely.
It's called mummy brains. Those are mummy brains. I get those moments so many times you don't even know. Like, like before, I'm literally one of those before I was pregnant people, because a lot has changed from that. Like, it's so shocking when I look at my life, and not like fundamental things like who I am as a person kind of thing, but there's a lot of things that I was talking to my husband the other day, and I was saying to him, before I got pregnant and before I had my child, I never used to be disgusted by things. And I also, like, people could come and do rubbish in my face. If I'm eating, I'm not going to stop eating. You could literally be vomiting me and I'll be eating. But from the time I gave birth, I literally can't. Like, I can't even watch horror movies anymore. I can't. Like, I just cannot. And it's weird. I don't know. But yeah, I can't.
For me. It's the opposite for me. I used to be disgusted with everything.
I used to, I can't, like, even, okay, not like if it's my child or something, but then, like, if I see something on TV and it's not really looking nice, I probably won't even eat at night. It's that bad. But
no, it's the opposite for me, actually. It's the opposite for me. I used to be disgusted by everything. Not do something if I saw something. I would not do this if I saw this. But now I'm like, this is the only chance I have, to eat in peace. So you can do whatever you want to do. I'm still going to do me. Like, this is my time,
Yeah.
Like, I don't care anymore.
That's also another thing that I really wanted to put out there, that for me, I really like that we are such a dynamic duo.
Team. Yes.
I was trying to think what's the word? Yeah. That we're such a dynamic duo. Like, of course, our children are not that far apart, but they are at different stages, especially at the stages that they're growing a lot. So the differences are there. When they get older, probably like a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old wouldn't be so much different as they are when they are younger. So I like that. I also like that, like, you're a working mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom. You are,
it's like we're the opposite of each other somehow.
And be like a proper
married.
Yes. So because of that, we really get to see a lot of different angles to a lot of different things that we can really talk about and put it out there. And it's also great that, like you said, we're trying to build a community. So it allows for us to also accept a lot of dynamic views from our listeners and those watching, to always just add on if they want to say something. Okay, we can always take that information and put it into our episodes and grow from that. It just allows us to be multifaceted in a larger way, unlike if it was just going to be you or just going to be me, and also that we are recording from different countries, like we're covering a big chunk of Africa right now.
We are recording from different countries. We forgot to say this. We are recording from different countries. Sue is in South Africa. I am in Malawi. And so obviously we are trying to make do with the resources we have. You might be wondering, why are you guys having low quality on this or that? We are trying to make so the resources we have are allowing us to do this. And we're glad that we can still be able to create content together while in different locations, but still like come up with something that is awesome and be able to serve other people. So basically, this is what Becoming a Mommy is as a podcast and a YouTube. I don't know. Do you call that a vlogcast?
I don't know if it's a vlog. I've seen vlog. I've seen video cast. I've seen channel. So we're not sure yet what we're gonna call it, but we're here. We're not sure what we're gonna call it yet, but it's one of those, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to call it Becoming a Mommy platform. Yes. For now.
So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. We are so grateful that you took the time to listen to us ramble on and on about the project that we've come up with. And hopefully you are going to be your subscriber and listener. So just share with us what people should expect in the episodes coming up.
Okay, so this was an intro so you can get to know the faces behind Becoming a Mommy. Our next episode would definitely be sharing about our pregnancy experiences. For the next couple of episodes, it's going to be our pregnancy experiences, our birth experiences, and mothering from then. So that's like the next 2 or 3, maybe 4 episodes to come. And yes, that's what you can look forward to. And like, subscribe, follow us, and become part of our Becoming a Mommy community. Come join the family. We want you all to come and experience this with us. We are so excited for it, and we look forward to meeting you all. You can follow us on our socials at Becoming a Mommy 1 on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. Our Facebook page is Becoming a Mommy. You can check our logo on the channel, and you can just find it there. And our website, go check out our blog. It's called wbecomingamommy.com. Go find us there, read our content.
Don't forget to like and comment this video. Share with us your ideas, what you want us to talk about. We are going to be so grateful if you share with us anything that you'd like us to cover. We're going to do just that. Our episodes come out every 2 weeks. So in a month,
every second Saturday. So if you see it the Saturday after next.
Yes. Okay, like English is not our first language, so please understand.
Yes, you know.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us and video. Mwah, kisses.
Love you, love you, love you. Thank you.